We're back out here on this Jeep. We left off last night with coating these two rectangles here. And we're going to start sanding them and getting them cleaned up. Here we go. So these big flat areas like that, like you can see, like they move, so you can't push hard. You just gotta let the sander do the work. If you push on it and the metal moves, it's gonna sand wavy. It won't straighten up. So you can't push hard. You just gotta take your time and move slow. Okay, you guys see what I'm going through. We still got a ways to go, and you know we're not even close yet to being sanded. So we're gonna keep going. But I can see right here. I can see that it's starting to get darker. So we're getting close to the metal here. I can also see it down here. We're getting close to the metal there. We still got low spots, low spots, low spots, low spots. So I'm gonna keep sanding, but we're gonna start hitting metal. And like I've told you guys before, like if you hit metal here and you got a low spot and a low spot, you can't keep sanding. You're just gonna end up with a high spot in the middle. So unfortunately, by the looks of this already, we're not going to be able to get this in one coat. So I'm going to keep sanding and try and get as much of it out as I can, staying away from the bare metal. And like I said, it's probably going to need another coat. So I'm not going to make you guys watch me sand this for the next hour and a half. So I will check back in with you guys, maybe when this one's done or before we're ready to coat. So see you guys soon. Okay, quick little check-in. So still got the top part sand. I'm about to do that right now. We got this bottom part sanded. You can see we're hitting bare metal there, just very lightly, but we still got a low spot here, and there's a good size one here. We got one right there. So it's close. What I'm gonna do, I'm not even gonna just go in and swipe the low spots. We're just gonna swipe the whole thing again. I think that these low spots are so minute that they're not worth just swiping them themselves. So if I just swipe them themselves, then we gotta go back and we gotta sand those. And I've explained in other videos that when you do that, it sands the areas around it that we already have nice and straight. And it just creates a wavy panel, and you end up having to put another coat on anyway. So we're just gonna coat it again, one full coat over the whole thing, and then we will sand that down and we should be good after that. I'm about to sand this up here. Let's hope this one turns out any better, but I highly doubt it. It'll probably be about the same as this one. We'll end up recoating both of them. So we'll be back after I get this sanded down. I'll show you guys what we got and we'll go from there. All right, well, we got this top section sanded down, and I think it came out much better than this bottom section. We have a little bit of a low spot right there. I think we'll swipe that when we coat this and try and leave this without coating the entire thing. So I don't know, maybe we'll just coat it all. So you guys watched me coat this last night. I'm just gonna do the same thing again. So we'll be back after I get it coated and I'll show you guys where we're at, and then it'll be lunchtime. So I'll be right back. Okay, well, we got everything recoated, as you can see. And actually coated that top edge right there. That is where our weld is for the new door skin. And I've coated across the face of it, once with Duraglass and then once with filler. And that feels pretty good. But the actual step to that inner rectangle that we are working on, when I run my fingers across it, you can, I don't want to say it's wobbly, but it's kind of bumpy. So I coated that, and you know, we'll sand that with the rest of it, and hopefully that'll come out a little bit better. I'm sure it's something we could have taken care of in primer, but instead of trying to get rid of it in the primer and having a chance of breaking through to bare metal, trying to get that to smooth out, might as well just do it in the filler now, and then, you know, use the primer to perfect it, hopefully. But hopefully we'll be good now. I did decide to just recoat that whole top section. Literally, that top section took, and I'm not kidding, took me 10 minutes to sand out. So that bottom probably took me an hour. So let's hope the bottom is okay. But anyways, lunchtime for me. We will come back out here a little bit later on, and we still have that other cab corner over there that we need to sand down. So maybe we'll come out here and sand that first. I don't know. Or maybe we'll work on this and make sure that this door gets done today. Like I said, I would like to start cleaning up some of these other panels that we need to work on. So, you know, maybe what we'll do when we come out later is get this door sanded down, and hopefully we're good. If we got to recoat some stuff, we'll recoat some stuff. And then we'll work on getting this cowl cleaned up. And maybe get that coated tonight, before we call it a night. So, but I need food in my belly. I'll see you guys in a bit. We're back out here. I sanded this door down off camera. Everything's looking much better. There is a couple of spots that I re-hit again. Along the very bottom lip of this rectangle here. You know, I coated that with the last coat. I showed you guys that. We got that all sanded down. and there was still some low spots there. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to build it to a hard corner like this, and then I'll come in and I'll round it out like the rest of everything else. But there was a couple of low spots in that area where I want to round it out, and I think that they were too low to where that spot would have been more rounded than the rest of it. So I recoated that. Then unfortunately, I got a little gung-ho with airfile, and I was really trying to get in along these edges here with the airfile, and there's this little metal edge that is on this. Like, I almost want to grind them and get rid of them now that I did this. That little metal edge was hitting in the corners, and I didn't realize it until it was too late, and it jacked up the two lower corners on the top one and on the bottom one. It put a bunch of gouges in it, so I had to go back and re-swipe those corners. Then, while I had the filler out and we were swiping all that stuff, I grabbed a razor blade, and I swiped any of the pinholes. So, oh crap, I meant to freaking hit that. We'll have to remember that. I'm gonna put a piece of tape on it so I don't forget. Right here where you see the bare metal, there was a dent here, and I can feel it with my finger. It's still there, and I meant to coat that when I was coating all this, and I forgot, and it hardened up on me while I was swiping with the razor blade. But so anyways, we're gonna let that dry up. I'll swipe this before we go in. What I'm gonna work on now is we're gonna get this sanded up and cleaned up, all the way around, all this, get it all nice and cleaned, and then I'm gonna try and get this coated tonight with lightweight filler, and then we'll swipe that little spot right there. There is a couple of dings and dents here and there, but I think for the most part this is okay. I know most of the dings and dents are around this vent thing. If you remember when it came in here, that vent thing was glued down, and all the hardware to make it open was cut and missing, and we had to remake all that hardware and make that thing open again. And I just think that was a problem area for these vehicles. The wagon that we have out here is missing and the hardware's cut, and the white pickup truck that we have out here, that one is glued down as well. So I think they're just a problem area for these vehicles. So there's some damage around that area. So we'll get that coated, and then along the bottom of the windshield all the way across we have sandblasting pits. So I think we're going to start with the wire wheel. So I'm going to get the extension cord out and the wire wheel, and we're going to wire wheel all this up, and then we'll come back in with the DA and we'll start DAing it up and get it ready to coat. If I see anything around here as we're cleaning it, we'll swipe that. But as far as I know, there's no damage up around here, as far as I know. I will find out, but I think everything is down here. So I'm not planning on doing anything up here unless I find something, and we will just work that area. So I'm not going to be coating all of it. But let me get an extension cord out and wire wheel out, and we'll be back. Okay, here we go. I'm going to start wire wheeling this. I'm going to kick on the heater while I do this. It is getting a little chilly in here. Okay, so we ran over all that with the wire wheel. The main thing that I was wanting to hit with that wire wheel was everything that we sandblasted. So it was mainly like around the windshield frame, and then there was a bunch up and around this vent area. So let's grab a DA with some 80 grit on it, and let's start DAing. Oh, look at that, here it is. And it looks like it has a fresher piece on it. Okay, other than this ding that was here, I don't see anything else that we need to be concerned about up and around there. So I'm just going to swipe that little ding there. Actually, I need to sand this primer down real quick. Alright, let me get some lightweight filler mixed up. And we're going to get a coat on that. Basically, we're going to do from this window edge down. I am going to like smear my finger across this here, but I'm not really concerned about this actual windshield lip. And I don't want a bunch on there because it's not getting glued in there. So it has a rubber seal that this window gets put in with a rope. So it doesn't really matter how nice and pretty this all is. And I would be worried, I guess, like as you're pulling the rope, you know, is it going to be pulling on this edge and possibly crack if we're, you know, building up a bunch of filler there. So I'm going to smear my finger across it just to fill in all the dimples. But what it is what it is. I'm not going crazy up there. So we're basically, I'm going to finger swipe. Now this portion of the truck, I want straight, because I know that I don't know, and I don't remember. I'd have to go back and look at pictures and videos from when this thing got here of where that windshield rubber sits. But I'm gonna coat this side, not really this side, and then we'll coat down to this line. So and we may do a little bit along this edge of this vent opening, just so that when we have the vent open, that you're not seeing any imperfections in that top edge, and there is some rust pitting in there. So anyways, let me get some mixed up and we'll be right back. Let's hope I made enough. It looked like I had a lot on there, but once I got it mixed up, it's really not that much. Okay, I'm gonna swipe this dent that's up here. I'm going to swipe the side of this body line here. Kind of a tricky little area to swipe. Note to self. On the other side, start in the center and work your way out, so you're not sticking your sleeve in there. Okay, let me mix up a little bit more. I made it a little more than halfway. Okay. We got that all coated. Got one coat on there. Hopefully one coat will do it. I keep saying that. Never happens. But yeah, it's coated. I'm calling it a night. It's cold out. I'm getting hungry. See you guys in the next one. Remember, like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. We're getting closer.